we've got a little bit stuck over the last 20 or 30 years in how we treat people with Alzheimer's disease and other neurodegenerative conditions. And that's probably because the way we run clinical services and the way we think about people with Alzheimer's disease, for instance, is very much when they have problems in late life with a dementia syndrome. And this is really important because we're now recognizing through research evidence that the diseases that lead to dementia probably start at least in midlife, which I think gives a huge opportunity to impact on those diseases and hopefully prevent dementia. Detection is probably going to come from three different areas, if you like. Number one is identifying who the highest risk group is, because we know what the risk factors are for dementia in later life. So if you've got a constellation of risk factors like family history or head injury or what have you, then those would be the targeted populations. In those populations, can we detect disease through brain scanning, through blood testing for these biomarkers which are rolling out at the moment? And then thirdly, are there early subtle symptoms that don't typically, they're not the usual symptoms you see in later life in dementia, like memory problems, or maybe some other problems in earlier in the course of disease. If you bring all that stuff together, and you could probably have a fairly good idea of what that person's prognosis is and the fact there's early disease in their brains. Three things come from that. Number one, can you manage those risk factors so the prognosis is improved? Number two, could it be involved in clinical trials to see if you can actually affect the course of disease through drug treatment? And ultimately what that translates to in the future is those drugs being successful, launched, marketed, and people get access to them. And to my mind, that's how you cure dementia, cure Alzheimer's disease, I should say, and prevent dementia.